One 5-year-old girl in Florida woke up to the worst nightmare you can imagine. Her whole world was about to collapse, and she had to make the most important phone call of her life. But would anyone reach her and her family in time? In Volusia, Florida, in late March 2005, 5-year-old Tia Skye Hernlin was woken up at 3 a.m. by a really strange noise. So she was probably quite scared. She got out of bed and went to look for her mommy and daddy for some comfort. But the horror that she found in her parents' bedroom would have made anyone freak out. Now, 911 dispatchers received some pretty insane phone calls from the public. I'm sure you can already imagine just how insane some of them really are. From the horrible to the really hilarious, they've listened to and dealt with pretty much anything you can imagine. And if you call 911 by mistake, you can always just apologize, and they'll usually understand and let you off. But it's worth remembering that playing around with prank calls can put someone in jail for up to 6 years. And much worse, they could be stopping a real emergency from getting through, just like this really upsetting call from Tia. The 911 dispatcher, Donna Chofruni, received her deeply heart-wrenching call, one that's probably every parent's worst fear.
911, where's your emergency?
Hello.
Hello. Is everything okay?
My mommy and daddy,
Uh-huh.
I think there's a bullet on the floor.
There's a what?
And there's blood coming out of my dad, and he fell off the bed.
He did. Where's Mommy at?
I don't know. I think they're dead.
What do you mean, sweetheart?
I don't know.
Okay, your daddy's on the floor. How old are you?
I'm 5 years old.
Really worried by now, the 911 operator kept talking to her. She just had to find out what on earth had really happened in this family's home, because this definitely wasn't a prank call. Without her parents, little Tia was all alone in the house. Now, we've all had nightmares about waking up in the dark. It's the middle of the night, and for a moment, you're just totally disoriented, not knowing where you are. Or is that just me after too many cupcakes? Well, a guy named Kyle Edward Bolt, the creator of the horror movie Skinamarink, started off with a small YouTube channel called Bite-Sized Nightmares. In this, he made short videos of scary dreams people sent in, and he soon realized that waking up alone as a little kid was the most common scary dream everyone had. So he made a really scary film out of it. Thought your mileage may vary. Honestly, that movie was a really scary experience, but it was still just a movie. If we learned anything from these stories, it's that real people are way more terrifying than any demon. At least, that's what I've come to decide. Freddy Krueger just doesn't really scare me anymore. You know, I'm pretty sure that Tia would take any scary movie over what happened to her family in real life. I know I'd have way more trouble staying calm after finding my mom and dad like that. Instead, she bravely and really sensibly called 911 for some help. And this whole conversation is all so tragic and unbearable to listen to.
Okay, baby, okay. Let me get somebody right over to you. Did you go in your mommy and daddy's room?
There's
All over the place?
not all over. There's blood on the bed and blood on the floor.
Are you the only one there besides mommy and daddy?
I said mommy and daddy, and they didn't even answer.
Okay. Okay, what I want you to do, honey, I want you to stay on the phone with me.
What's wild is that Tia was such a totally calm badass while making this call. Like, nobody would have blamed her for making no sense when she was trying to explain things, or for not making any call at all. Though I kind of wonder if at her age, it just didn't seem real. Once Donna the dispatcher realized what had probably happened, she did an amazing job talking to little Tia and keeping her really calm and focused until she could get help there.
And what made you wake up tonight?
I think I heard a gunshot.
You heard a gun?
Yes, and I see a bullet laying on the floor. I think it's a bullet.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who has a gun in the house?
I don't see a gun, but I'm scared.
Oh, sweetheart, I will not let anything happen to you.
Can you send the deputy down?
I promise I will. And you're only 5 years old?
Mhm.
You are so smart for 5 years old.
Tia wasn't even in kindergarten and was only going to start the following week. But she was even able to tell Donna the make of her parents' cars so that the police could find her house much faster.
Does mommy and daddy have a car in the driveway?
Mhm, 2 cars.
2 cars? What kind of cars do they have?
My mom has a Toyota.
What color is that Toyota? Is it dark or gray or silver?
It's red.
Red? Okay.
black
What kind of car does Daddy have?
He has a Jeep. It's black and
Okay,
white.
listen to me. Is your phone the kind of phone you can take with you and walk around? There should be an officer at your front door. I need for you to take your phone with you and walk over to the door and open it for me, okay? And I'm gonna stay on the phone with you, okay?
I'm totally relieved that the police are nearly there. Tia was ready to let the officer into her house so that they could help her mom and dad.
You are doing a wonderful job.
I'm to the door. I'm unlocking it.
Okay, you let me know when the officer talks to you. Okay, you go ahead. Okay, you talk to the officer.
Talking to the dispatcher? Okay, tell her I'm here now, okay? You can hang up.
Bye, sweetheart.
He's here.
Okay, sweetheart. You be good, okay?
Come on over here.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
I'm so relieved that someone got over to her that quickly. The entire 911 phone call only lasted about 4 minutes, and then there was somebody at the door to rescue her and her parents. I only wish that there was a much happier result from everything they tried to do. Unfortunately, it was already too late, and they couldn't save her mom. Julie Herlin passed away by the time the paramedics arrived. She was only 31 years old. But there was still some hope for her dad. They got him to the Halifax Medical Center in Daytona Beach and did their best to save him. But sadly, he passed away that afternoon, aged just 29. So little Tia was suddenly an orphan, despite all her best efforts to help her mom and dad. She did everything right after all, but sometimes life is just completely unfair. I know what you're probably thinking. Why on earth would someone do this to her parents? Apparently, the family just liked to surf and take it easy and really loved living by the beach, surrounded by their friends. The freak who did it believed that Tia's mom and dad had turned him in and exposed his business of selling illegal substances to the police. He was wrong, not that it makes what he did any more bearable. This monster's name was David Edward Johnson. He and Tia's parents had a really nasty history, which was completely one-sided. Sheriff Ben Johnson explained how it might have started. He had the feeling that Herlins turned him in for an indoor marijuana-grown operation, which was not true. Someone called in a burglary in progress at his home. Because he blamed the couple for his arrest, he kept on threatening them. He frequently drove by their house slowly and menacingly, which is really terrifying. He even tried to run them off the road. The Herlins were also pretty sure that he had called Child Protective Services on them, at least once. This is so sick because everyone knew that Tia's parents were amazing and that her mom would do anything to protect her. They'd make sure that she could come to the films they went to, and she was basically their pride and joy. Overall, David Johnson was a big pile of something I just can't say here, but he was a huge pile of it, and it wasn't like they hadn't tried to get him to leave them alone. Tia's parents had desperately tried to get a court-ordered injunction, basically a restraining order that was put in place against this creep. They had hoped that doing it would protect them and their daughter, but for whatever reason, the judge in charge of this order wouldn't set it up. He just didn't believe that they had enough evidence. Hello, this lunatic tried to run them off the road, and they had little Tia to protect. Why on earth wouldn't the courts help her and her family? Now, the judge, Richard Graham, who had denied this restraining order, he would later say he was remorseful and upset for not supporting it. He also said he thought he'd done the best he could. Looking back on it, I would have liked to have done it differently, but you review each case on a case-by-case basis. I suppose it's true that restraining orders only really work on people who don't need them. Remember, it's still only a piece of paper. When someone with nothing to lose comes after you, it's just not going to do the trick, even if it means there's a record of being threatened. Ben Johnson, who is the sheriff on the case, had a similar response. When the authorities were called out, everyone wanted to know how this had slipped through the cracks, and Ben Johnson said, "The only way to stop them is to keep them in jail. There is no possible way the judge could have kept him in jail. Very seldom do you find someone this determined to take action. In any given day, we have 3,600 to 3,700 restraining orders in effect. You can't stay on top of somebody all the time." Yeah, that's true, and it's kind of scary how many cases like this there are. Sadly, nobody's truly psychic, and you just don't know for sure how far someone might go. But it would have been nice if this time they'd realized just how much of a terrible person they were setting free. The surfing community had huge tributes to her parents. And what happened to the monster that did this? I bet you're hoping he's still in jail, right? I have bad news. He already ended his own life at this home later on the same day. He escaped any justice for the horrible thing he'd done to Tia's parents. And remember, this all happened for no reason at all. Just a paranoid delusion. Really scary. But what would happen to Tia now? Well, they set up a trust fund for Tia, and she went to live with her grandparents in Central Florida, and hopefully also her Labrador and the 3 kitties went there to live with her. Because she was a minor, it's obviously hard to know much more about her. It's also not very surprising that Tia changed her name back in 2018, and after that terrifying night, she's kept to herself well under the radar ever since. But it's good to know that there are other kids around the same age, or even younger than brave little Tia, who have also called 911, saving their parents' lives. Like 4-year-old Issa Glasser, who saved her mom's life after she passed out.
911, where is the emergency?
My mom fell down and she can't talk.
Are her eyes open?
No.
Where in the house are you?
I don't know.
Are you in the kitchen, in the bedroom, in the TV room?
I'm in the kitchen.
And let's shout out again to Donna, the 911 dispatcher, who did a totally amazing job helping Tia on that awful night. She kept her really calm and listened to her so that she could be rescued. And after all, Donna didn't even want her photo in the sheriff's newsletter, though they did call her a hero, because she is. So was little Tia Hernlin, or whatever she's called now, and I really hope she's gonna go on to live her best life ever since. What do you think about this case?